Okay, I hope you guys can hear me. This is, oh, excuse my hair. Sorry, I'm trying to get my hair together. Okay, whatever, not important. All right, hope you can hear me. I'm trying to make this video since I'm not there to give you guys directions on what to do with your performance tasks. You should be working on your performance tasks today in class. Do not waste this day. I'm accepting it on Monday and I'm not taking it late. So you have all period to work on this task. Let's start with part one. This is modeling real world periodic functions. So if you read in the directions, the table here, it represents the average temperature in the Bronx. And it's actually real world data. It's real data. It's not something I made up. This is 100 years worth of data. So this is the temperatures, the average temperatures in the Bronx in January, February, over the past 100 years. What you're going to do is you're going to fill in this table, right? Your x-axis is going to be the months. So January is month 1, right? February is month 2, all the way to December, month 12. Okay? The y-axis is going to be your temperatures. So you want to make sure that you can fit. You can't do it by ones, right? Because the highest temperature here, I believe, is 77. So you want to set your axis so that way you're making sure that you're fitting up to 77 degrees here. Okay? Make sure that it's in there. Now you're going to plot these points, right? Once you plot these points, by now you can kind of see what type of shape it is. This is going to be positive cosine, positive sine, negative cosine or negative sine, right? You should be able to see that. From there, I want you to determine the period, the midline, and the amplitude. I want you to tell me what the equation of this data is, what you think the equation of the data is, and then what the period represents in context. So I want you to tell me in the context of this example, what does the period mean? Okay. All right, moving on to part two. The unit circle, we haven't seen this in a while, so hopefully you guys will be able to complete this. If you're having trouble, go back to Delta Math and go back and look up when we did this before about how to use a reference angle to find trig ratios. All right, so what I'm asking you to do is pick an angle, right? Pick an angle. The one caveat is your angle cannot be in quadrant 1. So you can't give me angle 30, 45, or 60. I put this visual here so you guys can figure out any of these angles. Any of these other angles on a unit circle you can pick, but it cannot be in quadrant 1. If you want a challenge for all of my red and blue students, why don't you pick a negative angle, right? Wouldn't that be cool? Pick a negative angle for a challenge, all right, for my red and blues. Everybody else, pick an angle in quadrant 2, 3, or 4. Okay, any other angle basically except for angles 30, 45, and 60 you can pick, right? I want you to tell me what quadrant it falls in, and then I want you to tell me what the reference angle is. Once you have that information, I want you to tell me what the sine is, cosine, right? Secant, cosecant, tangent, and cotangent. This is something I kind of noticed after the fact, right? I don't think I necessarily told you guys how to get the tangent. The tangent is just the sine over cosine. That's all the tangent is, sine over cosine. So you take the sine, you divide it by the cosine. Use those calculators. And I want exact values. Do not give me any decimals. Now, if you sit at a table with someone, you cannot have the same angle. All right. So I'm thinking about, let's say, I'm just throwing out a random period. I'm going to use my second period, right? I'm sorry to use your name, but Yoretzi and Vicente, they sit together in the same period. In the same table. You guys cannot have the same angle, right? Yoretzi, Vicente, Kai, Jaden, you guys can't have the same angle. You guys got to choose different angles. So that's the one caveat. If you sit at a table with someone, you have to have a different angle, right? Have to have a different angle. All right, so I need all 6 ratios. So the angle that you chose here, the quadrant that you chose here, and the reference angle. If you give me the same exact information as somebody else, you are going to have to do this again. Okay, so if you sit at the table with someone, you cannot have the same information. All right, and the last one is just some Regents practice problems. I really need to see all the work. So on this last page is some scrap. I need to see all the work. So if you choose not to use the scrap page, that's fine, but give me a separate page with all the work that you show. Okay, so if you used work to find the secant, I need to see it. If you use work to find the tangent, I need to see it. I'm not accepting it without seeing the work. Okay, so hopefully this helps. I think that should be good. If anything, read the directions, go back to your notes, go back to your univocab, use the internet if you need to get some help on how to find a tangent and a cotangent, right? But I need to see the work. Do not use the internet to look up answers. You would not get any credit from me. I need to see the work that you used, okay, and your strategy that you used. All right, I hope that helps.